Okay. Hello. Hello and welcome to today's session of the Early Birds Club. We have with us a very interesting guest, Dr. Rupa Shah. Dr. Rupa Shah is an allopathic MBBS doctor. She's done intensive research in natural remedies, therapy, and holistic healing. She's also partnered with her husband, Dr. Atul Shah, and they have pioneered the Indian flower remedies. So Dr. Rupa has turned vegan 12 years ago, doctor, if I'm right. Wow. And she's experienced a health transformation which has been so deep that she wanted to share her knowledge and her vision of a healthy vegan community. And that's what's given birth to Ahimsa Paramo Dharma group. The group organizes India's first and largest vegan festival in 2016. It's called the Ahimsa Festival, and we've been doing that every year, isn't it, Doctor?
Yes, last 5 years, 5 editions.
Wonderful, wonderful, and that's where I first met her too. Dr. Shah has also founded a publishing house, Circle of Health, and it's Circle O Health, Doctor, Circle of Health.
Okay.
And it's they've launched the magazine called Compassion magazine. The magazine's won a lot of digital awards. It's got the GITO Digital Women Warriors Award too. Welcome, Dr. Rupa. As you know that you've been an inspiration for many of us in India who've turned vegan. We really welcome you to the Early Birds Club. Just a little bit of the club before we start our session. The Early Birds Club was founded by Mohanji, and but the vision of the club is, pretty. It's like pretty open in the sense like people from all walks of life come together to wake up early in the morning and use that time to work on themselves, because like you say, if you're not working on yourself, and if we can't change ourselves, we can't change the world. So we see in this club people come from various various backgrounds, various countries, various religions. The whole motto is to come together for a purpose, and each of us have various purposes. And the club also has these talk shows and interviews and things like that, so that we can help. We can help understand what's the need of the hour. We can also help each other grow and evolve. So that's the whole vision behind the Early Birds Club, to empower ourselves and then do something for the world. So thank you, Doctor, for giving your time. And we just wanted to, start today's discussion, to our first understanding about the world of veganism and I think that's a lot of you're staying near a place which has the train going, so that's interesting background.
I'm sorry, can you hear me? Because the internet was a little...
the train sound, yeah. So your journey into the world of veganism and holistic healing, Doctor, we just wanted to, if you could tell us, how did you get into veganism first, and how's your journey into holistic healing been? Because I understand you're an MBBS doctor. And it's interesting to, we'd like to know more about how you got into this.
Sure. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
My voice is very clear or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, about 37 years ago, I passed my MBBS. And during the last 2 years of my studies, I also got interested into learning spiritual aspects of life and meditation. And that's when I met a spiritual master who introduced me to various alternative therapies like homeopathy, flower remedies. And that opened up a complete new pathway for me. And I understood what is holistic healing, what is, the whole means, what is mind, emotions, and body, what is the connection between mind, how spirituality is linked with our body also, our diseases, the karma. All this became my spiritual foundation. And so I started practicing flower remedies in the beginning. They are all natural remedies. There is no side effect. And I was treating my patients with all this. But about 13 years ago, I attended a workshop where I was told that dairy is not good for health. And I thought it was extreme, you know. I eat organic, I use natural remedies, I live a very good life, and giving up dairy, that's a bit too much, I thought. But decided I'll try it out for 30 days. I just gave up 30 days dairy products. So we are a Gujarati household, and we usually have buttermilk, and we also have dahi, we have shrikhand, and all kinds of ice creams and all these things. Even sweets are very, liked by
I know.
Gujaratis.
I think
So I decided.
between Gujaratis and the South Indians, I think the dairy industry is gets most of their thing, because I think even we as South Indians, we eat a lot of dairy products. Please go on.
So I gave it up in the first month itself. I not expected that anything will happen to my health or anything. I had no clue at all. But it just so happened that I used to suffer from migraine headaches for about 18 years.
Wow. Okay.
And I used to only take natural remedies, no painkillers. I would suffer, but not take painkillers. But in the first month itself, my migraine headaches became zero,
Wow.
and my acidity completely disappeared, and I lost 2 kilo weight, and I started looking much younger on my face, energetic, very fresh, that even others started noticing, hey, you're doing something, some diet, you lost weight, you look so healthy. But for me to wake up every morning without pain, and what it is to be healthy and feel energetic like a 17-year-old, was a very big transformation. And I thought, oh my goodness, I am a medical doctor. I've been to so many countries. I know so many therapies. What the hell is this diet, and what's wrong with dairy products? So at that time, internet was not so much full of information as it is now. Even the speed was very less. We can't see much videos then. But still, I started tuning up and looking at Google for answers. Has anyone written anything about dairy products? What's wrong with it? Then I found many different websites, some books. Then I studied, and I came across a book by Dr. Will Tuttle, World Peace Diet,
Yes.
and I read it, and I got the complete picture. And after that, I wasn't even 99% vegan, I became 100% vegan, because I understood all the aspects of being vegan. I never heard the word vegan even then. I had no idea about it. But that's my journey. It started with health, but as the months passed by, it's like from my plate, I disconnected the animal products, but in my consciousness, I connected with animals all over again. And my compassion, my understanding, my connecting with animal became very real. And then health, animals, and then environment. I came to know so many things about how animal products are actually, using too many environmental resources. And so that became the reason. And finally, I came to know about the spiritual aspects of being vegan. And so that completed the picture. It's all four reasons why I'm vegan.
It's lovely. So, as you rightly said, doctor, there's a lot of role of compassion in lifestyle and food choices, and actually, compassion there actually raises our awareness. What's your take on this? I mean, do you think they are interconnected? And if so, what's your take on how changing one can change the other?
So, so when you give, can you hear me now? Because
It's very mild. That's
it's
the
not,
problem.
it's not clear. Is it better now?
Yes, it is.
Is this better?
This is better.
Because the background train
I know, I
sound
know.
was
I think,
coming.
yeah, that's okay. I think we'll keep quiet when the train comes. We don't have a choice.
So basically, being when you stop taking animal products off your plate, something happens also at the mind and emotions. What happens is that jaisa anna vaisa man, jaisa anna vaisa tan. That means as you eat food, so also is your body. But I never knew that as food has impact also on my mind and emotions. So a very subtle feeling of depression, something not right, or some cloudiness in your consciousness or some stress and anxiety. This was the state before I became vegan. Once I became vegan, there was a complete mental and emotional clarity, emotionally calm and mentally very clear. So the reason I understood that when you don't eat any product that is having impression of emotions from animals, like if an animal is feeling sad and then giving milk, that sadness is going to be in the milk. Now I will drink that milk, I will have to process that emotion. So I'll end up having something that doesn't belong to me and I have to process it. Once that became very clear, it's like clean waters. Now whatever I feel is my own. So there's a big chunk that went away. I became emotionally very calm, very centered, very clear. And till today, I feel that way. All
Wow.
these years, very calm, very clear. So now actually, I use the word, it's a rebirth. It was my rebirth. Like I now really took birth on this planet properly. Now I feel I belong. Now I know how I connect with animals, my fellow beings, our fellow travelers. They are part of our evolution. They are not separate from us. We are all connected. So suddenly, like it was me, but in me, there were also animals, there were also plants, there was earth, there was water, there was sky, there was sun. Everything was in me. My entire definition of what was me became very big, expanded. They say, Vasudev Kutumbakam, the entire world has become my family. So it's like now I am just one. So if I treat an animal badly, I'm treating myself badly. This is how I understand. So if I'm going to be a fisherman, and if I just graze the ocean and take away too many fishes for my own selfish purpose, then actually I'm not only killing them, I'm killing myself. It's always simultaneous. Everything that happens to them is not about happening to them, it's about happening to us. This is my perception about being compassionate is actually identifying the other as not as other, but me.
That's beautiful, doctor. So, as you rightly said, emotions. We don't realize that when we eat food, we also eat. It's everything boils down to vibration, right? And when we're eating something, you're eating literally prana. And also, what happens is eating emotions of pain and suffering also ends up, you accumulate it, as you rightly said, very beautifully put. So raising awareness first that it's not about the other, it's about yourself to start with first. And when you're harming something, and because of you someone is put to pain, you're also in pain, because when you take that, you're taking a part of that into you. Very well said. So from there to the origins of the Ahimsa Fest, I mean, it's a beautiful fest, Doctor. Kudos to you and your team. We've seen it a few years, and last year I also participated in it as one of the. I had a stall, so it's been. How did that start, and how
So,
did you guys come together and do this?
yeah, so learning about veganism, and so vegan is about animals, it is for animals, it's for the protection of animals. Whereas in India, we have a word called ahimsa, that is non-violence, practicing harmlessness, not just towards animals, but it is also there's a one sentence that we use, man, vachan or kaya se, do not want to harm others. In your thinking, in your being, in your action, in your speech, we don't want to harm anyone. And that is the Ahimsa platform. So the Ahimsa platform is much larger, where veganism forms a part of it. So once we define that we are the country that has given the word Ahimsa to the world, we understand what it is and why not promote this way of living. So we named the festivals at Ahimsa Festival because we wanted to tell the world that it is possible to live this way. And we wanted to do one event every year where people come and experience every aspects of it, not just food, but also in your clothing, in your accessories, and also maybe learning meditation, maybe environment, maybe health, all aspects of ahimsa, even spirituality. So we were looking for a platform, do it once in a year, and that's what we did. We started with the first year, and it became very successful. It was full, and people were very awestruck, because when they tasted the food and they kept asking, "It's not dairy, it's not dairy." I said, "No, it's not dairy, it's dahi vada, but there's no dairy in it." So this is like, because for centuries, things that are like in our habit, it's in our culture, insensitivity, routines, and we forget. So we wanted to recreate the connection, and that you can now start living a life of ahimsa very simply, without giving up anything that you previously ate or wore, but you just have to change it. So not changing the culture in such, neither festivals nor a prasad, but just replacing it with the harmless products.
So, Doctor, what's interesting is Ahimsa space also gives you an opportunity to look at, I mean, Ahimsa Fest also gives you an opportunity to look at various businesses. So, compassion in business, what do you think? If there are, I mean, our topic for this month is business, compassion in business. So, what's your take on, how we can grow business, and what do you think the vegan industry, especially in India and also globally, because we have global viewers too. What's your take in entrepreneurship with compassion?
So let me tell you various aspects of it. For me, the only way to do business is the way of compassion. There is no other way. The compassion means you encompass every aspects of the creation. So, for example, there's a story. There's a woman in the village who is making very good tea, and she is doing excellent job at making that tea. And but she doesn't know maybe how to make coffee, but she knows how to make tea. And then she starts, somebody comes along who is from a corporate background, and tells her that, "Oh wow, your tea is really good, why don't you also serve some bhajiyas along with it? It will be nice." And so she said, "All right, I'll start making that as well." And so she makes some bhajia. And then the third person comes along after a few days. "Oh wow, tea and bhajia, this is really fantastic, I love it. But why don't you put a small board outside and saying that, these things are available here?" And then she does that, and she puts a little board over there. And then now, people are lining up, and they're traveling miles and miles to come and eat that tea and bhajia. Then the place becomes very popular, and there are more such stalls comes up around it. And there's a one fellow who is selling coffee, because he makes very good coffee. And then another corporate guy comes along and said, "Oh no, but why don't you make coffee? Because, you already have a great going, and you introduce coffee." So she says that, "If I introduce coffee, what will my neighbor, who is so good at making coffee, will do? What will he do?" So she thought of him as us, that we are in it together. Someone does more, someone does less, but everyone have to be happy together. That's being compassionate. Whereas a corporate culture teaches us that you eat the biggest pie, and you become the monopoly, and you make the profit, and you become number one. Here we do not become number one. Everybody is number one. Everyone has unique potential, and that's how probably creation is made. And whenever all of us come together and contribute in a fashion like sociocracy, where everyone is contributing their unique talent, and then we live in harmony with each other, honoring each other's abilities. And it's not really about money. Money is only byproduct. So we do not count money anymore. We count our passion with compassion. And that would be a very nice way of doing business. And this is my perception. And there is also ethical aspects of it. You cannot become a successful businessman. You might appear like temporary you have become, but if you have got a foundation where you have harmed someone, and collected lots of money, probably it's only a short-term gain, but long-term you've lost. I have another story of a businessman who had a shop selling lots of leather goods, and he met a Jain sadhu, and he was just mentioning that I have a shop where I sell all these leather goods, and um, the Maharaji, this, that. My daughter is marriageable age and she's not getting married. And I'm really worried about it and this. So after hearing the whole story, the Jain monk said to him, this, I'm suggesting one thing. If you're okay, then do it. He said, just stop participating in a business that has a product of cruelty. An animal has died to give his skin to become leather product in your shop. And your shop is full of this energy, sadness. Now, this was his like whole bread, but he thought it over and he decided to change over his business and move over to a business which is ethical, that has a foundation where you have not harmed anyone. And then within few months, his daughter got married with a very suitable match. So I don't know, this is a story. It's like a little that whatever we do comes back to us, it returns. And if you establish a business which is on ethics, then you stand on a very solid ground. I started making flower remedies about 7 years ago, and we do not cut any flowers. We only take healing energy of flowers in water. Not a single flower is even destroyed in the process of making a remedy. We offer prayers. We take this energy with the thanks to the particular plant or the deities that are guiding the trees or the plant. When treat our patients with these remedies, and we had decided that we will never do animal testing or animal trials because we do not want it. Even if it's not recognized as a drug, it's okay. But we will never let an animal get harmed in the process of tasting a medicine. So ecological balance is maintained. You do not exploit nature for something of your own gain, and you do not taste your products on animals, and you straight away give it to the human beings. So this is, I never knew that the remedies were already vegan, and that this was my foundation already. And I did it for so many years. And that for me, it was very natural to become vegan and to understand, to practice and have tremendous strength and faith in what I practice to heal my patient. That over the years, I have seen tremendous miraculous results in so-called incurable diseases. I know nature has power, provided we know how to take honoring nature, not exploiting, and then nature gives in abundance. Just in few months into the lockdown, I'm so busy watching the trees on my own road. And I have a little papaya tree that sprung up in my own home garden here. I live in Mumbai, a little bungalow and a little garden there. It was just a small papaya tree, just came on its own and just grew on its own because I didn't water. And now it's monsoon time, I don't need to water. There are 22 papayas hanging there.
Wow.
22 papayas already in 4 months. And we are
Okay.
every day delighted that nature knows. Nature has the strength of regeneration, abundance, giving. So if we honor nature and understand it to be a part of us, then we will get blessed. The mistake that we have made about animal agriculture is we made a huge business out of it. We have completely disregarded them as individual beings with their own emotions, with their own purpose in life. And you just exploit them and you lock them, you harm them, you kill them, you bleed them. Uh, and now suddenly 5 months into the lockdown, we are into a small boxes like our own houses, and we get back, we are frozen in time because we didn't realize that it will all return with in the name of a disease or whatever. Whenever something happens in nature, we have to look what mistakes we have made. We are constantly busy trying to look for a medication, and you can see that in 5 months yet nothing concrete has happened. It's all very symptomatic. And no one is looking beyond why this has happened. You're looking for a vaccine, wait, how long it's going to be successful. But if you look into why this has happened, then it's very simple to understand. Everywhere we have to bring in this compassion aspect in our living, in our actions, in our business. As a doctor, a medical doctor, I do not want to use the medicines that are tested on animals, no animal exploitation. But let me tell you, like as a medical student, in the first year of my physiology experiments, I mean, I never realized, but I myself killed one frog every week for my experimentation. I didn't know about it. I mean, we just coolly did our experiments. We hung some heart experiments and muscles experiments and something that we did for a year. I never realized it, but now I realize it. So let us look at business as not as business for profit in terms of money, but in terms of happiness, in terms of everybody living together and surviving, everybody becoming happy, everybody fulfilling their purpose in life, and not in terms of the pure money, that a happiness quotient is very important than just the money quotient.
Yes, doctor. So, but do you also believe that going forward, while as you rightly said, what is more important is passion. When you're passionate about the work you do, you also know that it's good for the environment, it's good for everybody, it's not harming anyone. Obviously, you put in your best, and everything comes together to help you grow. But do you also believe that? There are a lot of people telling us that vegan industry is very nascent, so you're not going to be making money in the vegan industry and things like that. I disagree because I think that's the way, that's our future. But what's your take on this, and what do you think?
So you don't, as we said, that you don't only count in terms of money making. Vegan businesses, agree. I myself, I am a vegan publisher, so I know that the money doesn't come that quickly. I had to wait for 5 full years before my book started profiting. Some of them, not all of them though. But I don't even see them as even if they self-sustain itself, that's good enough, but the message is reaching to masses, and that's my income. I see it that way. So there is a but it's getting better each year. All the vegan businesses are now, actually now is the time, that if whoever starts and whoever has passion, there's a lot of demand. In fact, the cheese demand last year, I heard in New York City, was so huge that the vegan cheese suppliers couldn't cope up with it. So many 100+ restaurants in New York City, all vegan restaurants. Then there are companies like Beyond Meat, whom we
Yes.
never thought, will go in such a big way. And there are more and more such companies coming up. The last year, so many dairy businesses actually closed down, and the alternative plant-based milk industry has actually picked up, and it has become very big. So it is happening. The trend has reversed, and even the mainstream outfits like Pizza Hut or also Starbucks, they have all vegan options now. It's happening. Also the other way around, I see that in India we eat roti, sabji, dal, chawal, which is vegan,
Vegan.
right?
I know.
So I tell everybody that 70% of you is already vegan. I tell people 70% of you is already vegan. You just need to do 30% more. I just give them a very different kind of a view. So, but also by birth, all of us are vegan in heart. Ahimsa is the language of every heart, every soul. Children become vegan very fast. They do not want to exploit animal. So what's wrong with us? We are just conditioned differently. We can, unlearn what that we have, acquired over the time. And the vegan businesses will also thrive because the time is right. Just wait it out. But the satisfaction of doing a business with ethics in it is huge.
So vegan industry has vegan food or vegan products or services. It also it also includes cruelty free, which means not tested. A lot of times we see that the products can be vegan, but if they're tested on animals, or if they're using animal products, for in other ways, that also doesn't make it vegan. So we need to be a little more. I think compassion, as you rightly said, needs to come in all aspects of life.
Absolutely, there are certain products you can just think they are vegan, but their environmental exploitation is huge. I mean, you say pesticides, it's just the chemicals, right? There's nothing animal in it, but
Correct.
pesticides kill pests. That's disturbing the environment. How can they be called as vegan? Right? It doesn't have any animal parts, but then anything that's even going to harm an animal is not part of vegan industry anymore. It's not vegan philosophy. You're going to ride on a horse. You're not killing a horse, but you're just riding. No, that's not vegan as well. So you do. I mean, if you use a shampoo which is all chemical, but the shampoo is, the company is tasting it on animal, you're not going to buy it. Why would you want to support an industry that's going to exploit animals, even in tasting?
Yeah, and even from a point of view of starting something, in terms of a business, or having a business, we can make changes like this. Look at alternative ways of using compassion. At every step, use compassion rather than cruelty, basically.
True. Yeah, it comes around to say that are we into a culture of overconsumption, or just what is appropriate and just needed for our survival? We were into culture of overconsumption, and now we understand that when you do anything that is more than required, you're going to either take it away from someone else who needs it, or you're harming an environment, some part of environment. When we use, say, petrol or diesel or any of the products, plastic products, temporarily it looks good for the time being, but the long run it's going to damage the environment. It's going to disturb the eco balance. Then that's going to definitely harm everybody. So the ahimsa is a better word, because then you see if there is hinsa to any aspects of the environment, in nature or to the animal, even to the tiniest. Like you use insecticides. You start using insecticides. I don't want this bug that. And then every year they become stronger, and you need stronger chemicals. All right, one fine day they'll come, all resistant. You'll know, won't know what to do, and they'll attack you. Or other way around, you are also going to inhale some of those insecticides yourself, and you'll also perish. So it's all the same. What do you use it? What are you using? Are you using some killing substance? It's going to kill you. But if you're going to allow them to thrive, be part of the nature. I know of some agriculturists, told me very interesting story, that I was just asking them, how do you handle pest? So obviously they use a lot of organic, natural stuff and all. But apart from that, they told me that, they just kind of keep certain rows dedicated to birds and pests, and it's just for them,
Oh,
and we
lovely.
understand. Yeah, so let's just say that it is really for them. We do it, and then they let them have it, because we have dedicated, and let them have it. And they usually clear up that which is really not of very high quality. So it's all right, if they do it also. I found this philosophy very interesting, that and even on the trees, some fruits will be taken by the birds. It's really for them. They would tell us that. I found it very nice. That's a
Yeah,
really good way. So let monkeys also have some part of it.
beautiful. So
So this
basically,
is the businesses have to be thought like this. All the business, you don't want the whole pie to yourself.
yeah. So it's about living and growing, and together as not one species but collective species. Very, very beautiful. I mean, I think it'll be. I think that's the need of the hour also, because as you rightly said, with the whole COVID happening, especially in places like Bombay, we are like completely closed down. 3, 4 months, we've been sitting in our rooms, but the dogs, the cats, the birds are all out roaming, and this is how we've allowed animals to be kept inside cages, and now it almost seems like it's kind of a joke. that nature's playing on us, where we are now holed up, and it's frustrating, doctor. I mean, I speak for myself. Stuck up in the house for 4 months. Can you imagine lifetimes of
Yeah,
such
I mean, today is
traumatic?
Independence Day, and we value freedom much more now, right?
True, true, so true.
Because now we have to think even to go to the end of the road, you are thinking.
True,
Earlier,
so
you did
true.
not think at all. So I'm sure animals are having a great laugh at us when they look at
Yeah, true.
us.
So, doctor, from here to foray into publishing, how did you? I mean,
Yeah, so
how did you
I
get there?
started a lot of healthy cooking workshops because I was seeing many patients reversing diabetes. And then I used to always say that please husband and wife come together so that I can teach wife, what all things needs to be changed in the kitchen. So finally I started, having a healthy cooking workshops to show them that you need to make changes in the kitchen because she's the kitchen queen in the kitchen and it's her domain. Unless she is convinced, nothing is going to happen. So I caught hold of all these women. I said I must change them only first. So we started with a lot of healthy cooking workshops. They went extremely well. And then we started making some videos, and I thought, why not just write a book now so that I can reach more people? So the first one I wrote was Dairy Alternatives. It's a very small, simple guide, very basic for Indian cooking. And I was teaching all the time how to make dahi, and people were not getting it. Then I showed them again and again, and now finally loads of people have got it, and they are already part of our culture, vegan culture. So then it got translated in two more languages, that's Gujarati and Hindi, and of course it's English. And then uh, keep giving a lot of talks. People understand about how to give up, say, non-vegetarian food because there's killing involved, and they can understand. But to tell people to give up dairy was a very hard one because we are not killing any animal. The animal gives little extra milk, only that only we are taking. I said, no, 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 it's really not like that. She doesn't give extra milk. We are actually taking it for our own use because we are convinced. So after telling many aspects of what's wrong with the dairy industry, how cruel it is, how we are dominating the feminine of the animal kingdom, and that the same is going to happen to us also, that our feminine will get suppressed. We have to give up dairy products. So after hearing all that, they're ready to give it up. And just few moments later, someone will wake up and say, but doctor, what about calcium? Because it is so deeply ingrained in our minds that milk equal to calcium. It's there in our textbook. Where do you get calcium from? There'll be a glass of milk somewhere.
Yes.
The dairy industry has been very successful in marketing that milk equal to calcium, all the way to all the colleges across the world teaching nutrition. They are all programmed to say that dairy is the richest source of calcium. But that's not the scene at all. Where does a cow, buffalo, horse, and elephant get calcium from? It's really from plants. So we had to break this myth and we had to show the world. So I wrote another book called as What About My Calcium? Uh, so my friends were like, but you have to write an entire book on it. I said, yes, because this really, I have to, because there are women who are suffering from osteoporosis. They are drinking 2 glasses of milk. They are taking calcium supplements, and yet they get fractures. So I have to show them the way. And whenever I've seen that when someone goes on a plant-based diet, actually the calcium level in the body improves. It's
Wow.
just the other way around. So I had to tell this. I wrote the book, What About My Calcium? And then finally, we wanted to also come up with a magazine, which is, uniting all the vegan businesses, giving them a platform and like one resource guide for everyone, and with some fantastic, inspiring stories, because people come from all walks of life, all ages, all business background, and they all change and become, vegan. So this is the magazine that, is for sharing such stories. There are women who choose vegan pregnancy, vegan
Wow.
birth, vegan children. So how will I tell this? So I wanted to tell. There are my friend, Atul Bhai Doshi, who is a co-founder of Ahimsa
Yes.
Parmo Dharma. He is into clearly teaching us about ethical investing. He's into
Wow.
stock market. He gives us the guidance. He tells us which companies are doing ethical business, which companies are not doing ethical business, which companies are linked with the animal products. See, he will never invest in a company that has any animal traces,
Wow.
it's all ethical investment. So see, this is another way. And then he says that this somehow pays in the long run, being ethical in the way you deal with money. You
I
want
think
to
it's the
earn
need of the hour.
ethically.
It's the need of the hour, doctor. I mean, I don't see us go any other way. But it's beautiful that there are people like you who've already taken the forefront and who've already started something like this. I have a question from one of the viewers. When we have cows at home, when we love and respect them, then I see only love and love only in the milk. Does it affect our health badly? Especially when we consider cow as gomata, is it not desirable to give to kids too? I really want to come out of consuming milk, but also if we spread it, it's not good to consume milk. Will the cows be properly taken care by the farmers, where cows live as a domestic animals? That's the question.
Yeah, so beautiful. Just we did an event on Wednesday. It's called as Kitchen Doctor Wednesdays. And our guest that day was Preethi Shah. And he presented a video of Gopalak, the dairy farm owner. And when he heard about all this, he realized that, we don't need to use the dairy in food. And he already had all these cows. Now what to do? He says he decided he will no more sell milk. He will not exploit cows for selling milk and earning money. So he decided to close down his goshala. But now the cows that were already there, what to do? So he kept them. But he realized that they only gave milk only for their calf and there was nothing extra. And he said, okay, I look after them. Maybe I just take their cow dung for my organic farming.
Yes.
And maybe urine is used as a rich source of nutrients, but no milk. They don't give extra milk. You look after them, you love them, they're a member of your family, you give them a name, they're like your pet animals. You look after them even when they don't give milk, because you're not looking at them for any product. They're just but nothing happens to the health of the family members, nothing like that. I have met, last week I had event with Dr. Will Tuttle, who wrote the book World Peace Diet, and he is vegan for more than 40 years now. He lives in California, US, and he just says that he's hardly been to a doctor. We don't need dairy products
Sure.
for becoming healthy or remaining healthy. It's a programming. Honestly, when does a mother give milk? When she delivers a baby.
Sure.
Any woman doesn't give milk when she delivers a baby. Why does she give milk? Because she wants to feed her baby who doesn't have teeth, who has a very fast growth in the first year of life and needs a ready-made food, which is the mother's milk. And that also milk she doesn't take out with her hand. She lets baby suckle it, suckle her breast, and the kacha milk straight away goes into the stomach without any contamination, because it's the ready-made best food in the world. And there's a great bonding process. When does a mother give milk? When her baby is hungry, baby is crying, mom knows she is hungry. And then she puts her to the breast, and within few seconds the milk starts flowing. This is such a bonding, personal, private process. This is what feeding is all about. And you go to an animal, just let the calf drink little bit of milk, then you tie the calf, and then you steal all the other milk. That's not our food. That milk has exact composition for the calf to become 150 to 200 kilo in less than 2 years time. The composition is exactly as required by the calf. Same for the baby, for horse and baby elephant. It's exactly the same. So why do you want to, take a milk that's meant for calf for yourself? You're not a baby calf.
Well said. So there's another question. How do we make dahi out of without dairy? I have not been successful.
So there are 20 different kinds of plant-based milk possible. We can start right from a coconut milk. So in Ceylon, Burma, even in South India, in Konkan, they always used coconut milk. Later on, we started replacing with the other dairy milk. So coconut milk is the first one, which is very popular. Then the next one is, you can say, soya milk. Then you can have rice milk. You can have peanut milk. You can have almond milk. You can have cashew milk. All these different kinds of milk are possible. So on my website, Circle of Health, and also on YouTube channel, there's a video that shows how to make milk from the peanut milk. So you take raw peanuts, you soak them, you remove the water, then you add fresh water, blend it in a blender, strain it, and then the white liquid, that is your milk which you need to boil. And for starters, you can use some green chili tops and just leave it overnight and it becomes dahi. You can add rice milk as a combination because the peanut taste is very strong. Then you just add this rice flour or kacha rice and make a milk out of it. Boil it well. So the recipes are there, but this is one of the best curd with the same probiotics as the other dairy curd that we use, and it's excellent for making chash or for dahi rice or for raita, or even we Gujaratis make kadhi. It's a great replacement and it works perfectly well. If you don't like the taste of peanuts, you can have almond and cashew. These two together also gives excellent dahi.
Lovely. Thank you, Doctor. So, what do you see are the opportunities in the vegan industry post-COVID scenario, Doctor? Do you see things change?
So COVID has come, taken us by a huge surprise. Suddenly, like month of March, and everyone was shocked, frozen. They thought maybe it will get over in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And now, it's like suddenly the health has become so important. A tiny little virus that you can't see even in the regular microscope. It's, so tiny and has taken over. So now also, frequently washing hands, wearing masks, maintaining distance. People are tired. They understand. Most have understood one of the biggest thing is to have your strong immune system. So I have a way of explaining. It's like seeds and soil. Seeds have to be suitable for the soil. And if the soil is suitable, the seeds will sprout. If the virus comes along, if your body is clean, healthy, virus will not thrive, will not be able to attack you. So the only way out is to become strong, become healthy. And so it's not even post-COVID, this is COVID time. The health interest have gone suddenly up and people are now paying attention to their own health. All of us were busy running. There was only one word, busy, busy. All of us doing too many things, multitasking, idhar bhi gaya, udhar bhi gaya, too many unfinished businesses, and living like very superficially. Suddenly, pause. There's a pause button. And now we are paying attention that there are no shortcuts to health. We have to be healthy. There is no like kal dekha jayega, aaj painkiller le liya, aaj fever ka medicine le liya, baat khatam. No, baat will not be khatam. Your body will remember. Body records everything, and a disease like this will come and find suitable body, and you're out. So there is a huge awakening. People are looking at various systems of healing and also the plant-based diet. So plant-based diet has already proven with loads of data available that it's very good for reversing lifestyle-related diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, thyroid, obesity, high cholesterol, PCOD. Now, it just so happened that even COVID is, having this liking. Those who have all these diseases, they get, the infection
COVID,
much
yeah.
more. So we understood, oh my goodness, I must not, have these diseases in the first place. Because if I have, these are called as comorbidities, you are more vulnerable. You are going to get it. There's a study that says that your BMI is, higher, then you are likely to get, more COVID, and you might be more on ventilator. You'll be more in trouble. So it's like all these diseases together, which we just took some allopathic medicines to support and thought everything is fine, everything is fine. Everything is not fine. You are on one medication to control your sugar, is not fine. Ideally, you should not be having any medicines and should be remaining healthy. We are examples of it. We are showing, I'm just one, but there are thousands of them who have reversed their diseases. They are showing you the way. So suddenly there's a huge awareness that the plant-based diet is the way forward. So across the globe, more and more people are now switching over to vegan lifestyle, and that too healthy vegan lifestyle. You have to choose whole food plant-based diet, become healthy, and the miracles happen not in few years, it happens in few weeks. Within few weeks, I have patients who have given up their diabetes medicines. Some of them have given up insulin. So
Wow.
now all the businesses that are associated with plant-based diet and lifestyle, one is the food business, that's the biggest one, and all kinds of foods, starting with the dairy alternatives, meat alternatives. You want to give them butters, you want to give plant-based cheese, you want to give them ice creams, you name it. My brother has turned vegan about 4 months ago, and
Okay.
I showed him all the different alternatives. He loves ice cream, and so we ordered some ice cream, and that's it. You have it. You just replace it with a healthier version. I would say kinder version.
The only version going forward. Hopefully, we'll see that. We'll see that day, I'm sure.
It
So
is.
another question from the US is, how can we make sure that vegan products like cheese, etc., don't have chemicals in them, which may be harmful to us?
Right. So, I myself don't like to prescribe plant-based milks that are packed in Tetra packs, because Tetra packs themselves are a huge environmental hazard. I wouldn't like it, that way, because they are quite simply made at home. But initially, when people are in transition, yeah, they're switching over, they're just learning about this lifestyle. I said, all right, you take some, cartons and some of these ready-made products that all have chemicals, preservatives. It's only another business. I don't like processed food myself, because that's still again continuing the harm to your own body. So that's not ahimsa, that's hinsa to your own body. So kind of, but it's a journey. Nothing happens overnight. Even if
True.
like after 13 years I suddenly discover that such and such product has this animal ingredient, then I give it up. So it's a journey, it's exploration as you learn. And so finally, like, I myself don't consume even 1 liter of soy milk from a carton in a year, because I just don't have it at home. Make everything at home. It's quite simply easily made, and you get used to the taste, you like it, and you also understand the difference between the real food and the foods that look like food like substances, I call them. They are not food, they are food like substances. So you learn to differentiate between real food and those substances, and you start giving up one by one, and develop your taste bud takes about 21 days to change. So as you uh, change, you will appreciate what is a very healthy food or real food.
Okay. And how do you see,
Also,
food is
just
one thing.
let me just also where the entire business or industry has only one motto: demand and supply. If we stop demanding, there will be no supply. When you stop taking dairy, the dairy business will go off. When you stop taking those cartons and those chemically loaded, even vegan products, even that business will go off. So it's really, we have to be empowered and we choose. Then it will happen. Yeah, Preeti. Sorry. Okay.
No, we seem to be having delayed this thing. That's why I thought you finished. Yes. So, doctor, I understand, especially with vegan food and the vegan whole food plant based diet is the need of the hour with COVID. But what would you because of the vegan fest and how you've been promoting not only startups but also established vegan businesses. What do you think will change for the vegan industry post COVID? What's your take on it?
So the big companies will come in to look for the pie, and they will all get into the market, and there will uh, be ready for the competition, be ready for all this, big guys taking over, because when they see the numbers, the venture capitalists will start investing, and that will happen. But however, my understanding is this, that beyond those numbers and money, it is the passion, it's your grounding, it's your conviction, it's your energy of your heart, that will thrive. Like, I would prefer to buy from a small time farmer. I'll call him up, he'll come and deliver, I'll have a little chat with him. That's something I value a lot more than something that is bought from a faceless farmer or something. So that people will understand the differences, the value, the energy, and hopefully even everyone should be able to thrive in it. This is what I think. But be ready in the sense, but don't get disheartened. Always remain grounded and keep doing. There will be always something for everybody.
There are also people who have, with this whole job market going all over the place, there are a lot of people now who've been like either taken a break from work and who want to start something new. And because of COVID, and I would actually, in another way, kind of thank it, because then now that you understand that health and wellness is so important. From that perspective, if there are people who would like to enter the vegan industry, what do you have any words of advice for them? What do you think they should do? How do you think, how should they plan the whole thing?
Sure. So health industry definitely is thriving now, and it's going to, because the foundation has changed completely. Everybody understands about the holistic health, that is mind, emotions, and body. Everything have to be treated together. So health and wellness industry, plant-based diet, and all other products, will all of it is going to move together. So what you need to do is to first become compassionate yourself. That is the step number one. Unless you experience being compassionate, nothing else is going to happen. You may just jump into it with a product, but if you are not practicing yourself, it's not going to complete the picture. First, take 30 days of becoming vegan. That's the first step. Don't become 90% or 95%, but become 100% vegan for 30 days. It's a first step experiment. When you have done that, I usually see huge miracles happen in 30 days. Suddenly, there's a big change in the consciousness, in understanding, in perceiving the world, in connecting with our fellow beings. And that is the step number one. You open up yourself, read about the subject, have discussions. We ourselves do a lot of talks, interactive sessions. We have our Ahimsa business group. There are 2 groups on WhatsApp, and there are also 2 groups. There's 1 group on Telegram. And these groups are thriving for last 5 years. We've been helping so many of them. As soon as somebody will ask that, oh, I'm looking for someone who can help me out with online registration for my food business, and then within, I think, 30 minutes, somebody answers that he contacts so and so. So there's a great support group out there. We all help each other. There's a huge potential. There's a lot of possibilities. Come along and we will be able to help you. If you want to join the group, group number 1 is full, so we'll add you in group number 2 if you send us a message on WhatsApp group. And also we have a Ahimsa Fest page. You can post it over there. Somebody will pick up the message or your cell number and we'll add you into the group. Also, if you want to just see, maybe we have other support groups. Compassion Magazine is one that is, uniting and inspiring all the vegan businesses across the board. So for example, someone is making musical instruments, which is without leather. Yeah, the tablas, but no leather. So we are very delighted, to know that someone has done that. So we'll support that. So just keep tuning in, and there'll be a lot more vegan India groups are there, a lot of Facebook, about 5 different groups I know in Facebook. Vegans in India has about 25,000 people. Our own Vegan Mumbai has more than 5,000 members. So very thriving. If you want to start a restaurant, if you want to start some business from home, start small, but label it well. Label it's vegan, then that is very important. Then it will go.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I mean, we are almost reaching out our time. It's been wonderful talking to you. I mean, veganism is something which is very dear to me as well. So there's a lot more connect when when I speak to people like you, and what you're doing for the vegan industry is amazing, especially in India. And people like MBBS doctors were actually front running such initiatives also give us a lot more visibility. So I would also like to thank you first for being, Dr. Rupa and your husband as well, for kind of being who you are and what you do for the vegan movement in India. But I also would like to thank you for joining us today at the Early Birds Club, and for having a candid chat with us, for explaining things right down from how to make vegan chash and vegan, dahi, to the compassion aspect in animals. It's been interesting to understand that it's not just about food. When you're looking at businesses and when you're looking at compassion, first of all, it's not only about veganism; it's about being compassionate. And second is, it's not only about food; it's about everything. It's about living and coming together. And what's beautiful is our motto at the Early Birds Club is also to come together across man-made boundaries as well as across species. So I'm really looking forward to having more discussions with you. I'd really
Thank
like to
you.
thank you. Thank you so
May I
much.
just say the last word that
Of course, you have to always.
I just want to tell everyone that now we should really keep it in mind that we are neither superior nor separate from anything in this creation. We are just a part of it. And the day we make that realization, we will start our journey of compassion. Thank you very much, Preethi, for having me.
It's been a pleasure, Dr. Rupa Shah. And we're also, can we have your email ID or some contact details?
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll put it in the comment section when we put it on Facebook Live. So if people would like to reach out to you, they can do that. And our next session this Wednesday is also something that we discussed today. It's about an organic farm, which is also an animal shelter. 19th August, Beach Om. Our speaker is Aparna Rajagopalan. It's been beautiful to see how she's converted her farm and also use that space as a rescue shelter, and how she manages the cows and things like that. Do join us next Wednesday, and thank you, Dr. Rupa. I'll touch base with you. It's been an honor that you've been here today with us. Thank you.